Hey guys, got a little carburetor for you here. It's a Honda carburetor. Comes off a Honda 450 Foreman. I think it's about a 2006 model. This carburetor is probably more. I'm not sure how many years it was used. Maybe if I do some research on it later, I'll post it in the right here in the video. What models this carburetor runs across. Never worked on one of these before. I've messed with small engine carburetors plenty of times, but I have a friend of mine whose Foreman has gone to running really rough, and I told him, hey, bring me the carburetor and I'll take a look at it. I got a feeling it may be eat up with this new gas that they come out with. Everybody messes around with small engines knows the ethanol that they put in the fuel now eats this stuff up. So we're going to take this one apart and see what it looks like. If I can clean it out and I feel like all the jets and everything are clear, I might put it back together and we'll see how it runs. But if not, then we may just have to get another carburetor. But either way, let's find out what's inside this guy. Yeah, there's a little bit of mess at the bottom of the float bowl. That's a good indicator right there, what you got going on. Yeah, look at that stuff right there. There's corrosion going on here. Like that, the needle in the seat looks like it's stuck. Definitely, yeah, it was stuck. I could feel it hanging when I tried to pull on it. It's broke loose now. So yeah. Thanks, US government, for all of your awesome wisdom. Ruining every small engine carburetor from here to the other side of the country anyway. It's kind of nasty. Wow, look at that mess. Okay. Oh, look out. Let's see. That jet's not clogged. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see light through it. There's one jet. And that's your metering rod for your throttle runs down through this. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's kind of in the bottom of the carburetor. It drops down in here and kind of meters your fuel. It's vacuum operated throttle. I thought that, but it's not too. It's a little clogged up, but could probably clean this up good with a carburetor cleaner and blow it out, and that might be okay. You know, there might be some trash in this thing, but I mean, if your jets are clear, other than getting the trash out the carburetor and getting that needle and seat cleared up, it might actually be okay. Really won't know until you try it. Yeah, that one's got some clogged up ports. That one's clogged. And let's see if I can see through it. Yeah, I think that's your low speed idle jet right there. It's a very, very, very tiny orifice in there. You can't see that, probably not. But it takes a really, 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 really small cleaner to get that jet cleared out if it's stopped up. I don't know if I've got one that small. There we go. Nope, almost all the way, not quite. Yep. It's got a little resistance fit there. There we go. It's sliding. Just takes a little effort. Okay. There we go. There's your needle. That was that was kind of stuck in the carburetor. Didn't want to drop, so thinking that might have been starving for fuel, if not getting any at all. And that seat looks a little cruddy in there. Let's see, anything else? Needle and seats, meter rod, blah blah blah. I think we're good. Time to do some cleaning. I throw a little bit of wire wheel brush action on that guy, very, very gently though, because you don't want to deform or take away from it. Here's the needle. If you ever hear anybody talk about needle and seat, this is the needle that goes into the seat in the float bowl. But that's got I don't know what kind of material that is, a ceramic or something like that, and it seals against the seat. That's what stops the fuel from flowing into the float bowl once the float bowl's full. And if it sticks, you can have a flooding situation, and if it sticks open, that is. And if it sticks closed, then you're not getting fuel, so your machine won't crank up. All because of a little bit of crap and corrosion that might make it seize up. So you could have a flooding issue or a starvation issue depending on where it's stuck at. But it looks okay. The seat itself looks okay. It's just it had a bunch of cruded up stuff in the float bowl. And in this machine, it sits. I know it does some sitting, but it doesn't sit that much. It does get cranked up. So I don't think it's sat, to where even like just your standard non-ethanol fuel would have done this. I really blame it on the ethanol myself, but that's just me. Okay, generally speaking, I think this carburetor really wasn't that in bad a shape. I mean, it did have a couple of stopped up ports in some of the jets, which are probably attributed to it running so bad. But so far as being destroyed to the point that you can't repair it, it's probably okay. I don't think I needed to go to a Honda and buy a carburetor kit. It comes with all the bits and pieces and stuff, and I guess by the time you go to all that trouble, you could probably find an aftermarket knockoff carburetor and stick on it or something, or buy the factory Honda carburetor if you want to pay enough money for it. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, let me go answer my child. Now on some carburetors, this kit right here has actually come in really useful for me over the years. It's used to clear out, it's actually for welding, but it works good for little tiny carburetors too, little ports. If you got a port you're not sure if it's clear or not, you get one of these little tiny wires here. So you take a little guy like that. That's too big. That one's probably going to work right there. Try that one. These just little cleaners, basically. Run it through the little ports on the. There you go. Make sure they're all clear. Now I've done this on all of them already, and they are all clear. But that's what I use to knock any kind of debris out of the jet. There might have gotten up in there. Same thing with this one. Same idea. A couple of these were stopped up. I think it's okay. Everything seems to blow out, and air goes in, air goes out, and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna put it all back together. There we go. There we go. Just about there. Here we go. She's in. Needle and seat's back in where it belongs. It's not hanging up at all. That's nice. Good to see that. This thread here was felt a little bit funky when I pulled it out. Throw a little bit of liquid wrench on there just to maybe help it out a little bit so it doesn't cross thread on me. Yeah, that's a lot better. I think I will point out, the nice thing about these carburetors is it has a rubber O-ring or rubber gasket right here that's usually will reseal when you put it back together. I think sometimes it's a good idea to maybe shoot a little silicone on it just to help it maybe swell up a little bit. I'm sure that it does seal well. I don't know how much good that's going to do it, but hey, can't hurt it. Last jet I did not mess with was that low speed idle jet. I do believe that's what that guy is right there. I didn't pull that one out, so let's see. We count your turns. If you're going to take this one out, you got to make sure you know where to set it back at so you don't screw with the calibration on the carburetor. So what I do is I turn it all the way in and find out where the bottom's at, and then when I put it back in, I'll go in and back it out that amount. So starting with this being 12 o'clock, that's one half. One full turn, a half, two full turns. Boop. Goes like two full turns and maybe an eighth of a turn. So 2 1/8 from the bottom. So we'll back it out. That's one I missed when I had the carburetor apart. It's probably okay. But yeah, see the goop. She got a very fine little tip right there. I'd make sure I wouldn't bend that. That would be ugly. Try to clean it up a little bit. Alright, so we're going to go, it's 2 1/8 of a turn, so we're going to go at 1/8 of a turn, say right there, and then go half, 1 1/2, 2, and that should do it right there. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. Maybe you learned a little something. Maybe you, if you happen to have a carburetor similar to this, or in that same year range of Honda four-wheelers, might Might give you an idea of what you're looking at if you want to pull it apart and see if it's worth trying to salvage or fix up or clean before you just go off and buy a brand new carburetor, assuming that, you know, it's shot just because it doesn't run good. And we'll, like I say, we'll get it on the other bike and I'll let you know how it goes.